All right. Welcome to Fire Yourself Fast, where I am going to walk you through the 5 steps to scaling your business and freeing up your time. You know what? This could be the defining moment of your year. And I'm so thankful that you are here. And I cannot wait to share with you how to scale your business and get your life back. So, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this presentation, let me first make sure that you've come to the right place. So, who is this for? So this is for anyone that owns a professional services practice where you make your living from an expertise, knowledge, or wisdom that you might have. So, if you're a CPA, if you're an accountant or bookkeeper or a staffing company or a consultant or anybody that provides a service to their clients, you're absolutely in the right place. Also, if you use just your intellectual capital to add value to your clients and to really help change the world and change their world, then you've definitely come to the right place. So, having said that, here's exactly what you can expect in the next 45 minutes. The first thing I'm going to walk you through how to be able to take a 1 month vacation each year, minimum, without having to field endless phone calls from your team back at home. So, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to scale your business so you can finally take a vacation. I'm going to walk you through how to turn your business into a cash flow machine or a cash flow system that finally does not revolve around you. I'm going to walk you through how to turn your existing employees, which, by the way, your employees, and I know that you might be scared to death about what I'm about to say right now. I guarantee that you won't be by the time that this presentation is done. But your employees are your advocates or your representatives to your clients. And I'm going to walk you through how to get to the point where you can trust your employees with your clients to not only retain them, but also grow their accounts and add more value to them. So I'm going to walk you through how to turn your existing employees into a highly productive team, even if you're not a good manager. I'm going to also walk you through how to grow your sales 20 to 30% each and every year without translating into having to work more hours. Because so many business owners, it just pains me to hear business owners say, Charles, I'd love to grow my sales. I'd love to scale my business, but my gosh, if I got another client, that means I have to work another 5 or 10 hours a week, and I'm already working 80 hours as it is. Well, we're going to walk you through exactly how to grow your sales 20 to 30% each and every year without trailing to another second of work for you. Then I'm going to walk you through how to streamline your sales and operations so that your business can scale without you. We're going to create a cash flow machine in your business that doesn't require you. Because at some point, when you sell your business, people want to buy a system, they don't want to buy a person. And many business owners get to the end of their life or not end of their life, but get to retirement or wanting to retire or just get sick of their business and try to sell it. And then they're shocked to find out that the business is nowhere close to worth what they thought it would be. So we're going to fix that within the next 45 minutes. So here's my big promise. Here's what I absolutely want to ensure that I deliver to you above all else. I'm going to provide you a step-by-step strategy, step by step, on how to leave your business for 30 days and come back finding it better than when you left it. See, most business owners, they're afraid to leave their business for an hour, much less a week or 30 days. I want to walk you through exactly how to do that. So, hope you're excited. So, if you stay with me for the next 45 minutes, in addition to all those promises that I just made, I also want to provide you a free gift, and that is our delegation template. Our delegation template has shown to free up a business owner's time within the first week by anywhere between 8 to 12 hours. Imagine getting 8 to 12 hours back. That's an entire workday for most people. So if you stay with me for the entire 45 minutes, I'm going to reward your commitment to freeing up your time and scaling your business by providing you our delegation template. We typically sell this one template and just this one training for $297. I'm going to give it to you absolutely for free. So, first and foremost, I want to see if any of the statements that I'm about to say sound like you. Number one, do you feel like your business is your life and your life is your business with no end in sight? In other words, do you kind of feel like Groundhog Day, that you're doing the same frustrations, fighting the same fires over and over again? Do you feel like your business revolves around you and shudder, just or vastly afraid at the thought of leaving the day-to-day operations to your team? Are you sick and tired of having to generate all of the sales to float this beast that you call a business? I could talk to so many business owners who are just like, gosh, I just feel so overburdened with the fact that I have to not only make sure that I cover payroll for these people, but I have to make sure that to keep this thing running. And if I don't generate the sales, my gosh, who will? Most business owners, 95% of business owners that I meet initially, not by the time I'm done with them, but I meet initially, are responsible for generating 95 to 98% of the sales. Some of them 100%. That is a tremendous burden to feel, especially with all the other things that you have to do on a day-to-day basis. Do you think that if you had the right people in your business that you can focus on the things you love to do versus have to do? When was the last time that you were actually excited about going to your business? And are you frustrated by how difficult or time consuming it is to get stuff done in your business? And do you miss out on weekends, family time, and fun activities because the work simply is never done? Are you getting to the point where Mondays also feel like Saturdays and Sundays? And do you believe that long hours and endless frustration is your lot in life as a business owner? I know a lot of people that are in this situation. But here's the real issue. All of the stuff that I just talked about there is not at the core of the issue. Those are just symptoms of a much deeper problem. The real problem is you have not made the 5 shifts. And we're going to cover those 5 shifts here shortly. But before I do so, I want to walk you through exactly what it looks like once you actually make it. Once you actually have systematized your business, once you have scaled it, once you finally are working on the business versus inside of it. You'll be able to work on the things that you love to do in your business versus the things that you absolutely have to do in your business. You're going to turn your business into a predictable cash flow machine that is not depending on any one person for success or failure. You might have somebody in your business right now that's like, gosh, it's not really me. I mean, I'm definitely a key employee or a key shareholder in this company, but gosh, if my operations manager left or my general manager left, I'd be up a creek. We're going to fix that to make sure that doesn't happen to you, because I do not believe that any employee should hold you or any other business owner hostage to their business. And you'll be able to do things that you want to do with the people that you want to do them with. You'll also be able to take extended vacations and still have revenue coming in each and every day while you're on vacation, like clockwork. I'll tell you what, once I got there, it was literally heaven. It felt amazing to know that I was on vacation and that the revenue in my business was still growing. And to see my clients' faces and to hear their tone when they say it, man, it's just cool. It's just an amazing feeling that's really hard to describe with words, but just to know that your business increased without you being there, it's a great feeling. And you will have the confidence that your team is taking care of the day-to-day operations in a manner that retains and grows your core client base. That's what scaling looks like. You're building a system that doesn't revolve around you, that allows your business to grow and retain the clients that are the most important to you. But here's the one thing you need to know. There are 5 simple shifts you need to make to scale your business. Work less and have a business that does not revolve around you. All those other things we talked about vacation time and being enslaved to your business and feel like you're chained to your desk or chained to your business. Those are all symptoms of a much deeper problem, which we'll cover here very, very shortly. And I'm going to walk you through exactly how to make those shifts today. Before I get started into the core and the real meat and potatoes, I just kind of want to walk you through who the heck I am. First and foremost, I've helped over 104 clients scale their business and add a total of $54 million in sales. Now, those are just kind of some of the more tangible things, but we've also saved anywhere between, like I said earlier, 8 to 20, and my record is actually 53 hours. I actually had a business owner that was working 68 hours a week, and 53 hours of that was just doing stuff that they had absolutely no business doing. So it was kind of funny, which is kind of the other end, which is once you actually scale your business, you're like, gosh, what do I do all this time? And I told him, I was like, anything you want to do. So that's the first thing about me. The second thing about me is I've allowed multiple professional service business owners to open up multiple offices around the country. You know, one of the myths that I've come across that I absolutely just have on a mission to completely obliterate is that you can't scale a professional services practice. That is complete baloney. I've done it for over 104 clients. I know that I can do it for you. And I've seen multiple professional service business owners open up multiple offices and have a truly scalable business. So it is absolutely not true that you cannot scale a professional services practice. You absolutely can. And we also specialize, and me and my team specialize. All we do is work with professional service business owners to scale their business and enjoy the freedom that true business ownership has to offer. So, enough about me, let's get to it. The first shift you have to make is you've got to set the right expectations. It is an absolutely crucial step in setting to set the right expectations for yourself, for your team, and for your customers. Here's what I mean by that. If you don't set expectations to yourself as far as the goals that you have for what revenue you want to do in your business, how many hours you want to work, if you don't set the right expectations for what results you expect from your team, and if you don't set the right expectations with your clients as far as how they can contact you and how often, et cetera, and if you don't do that in an objective, specific, and measurable manner, then you're leaving all those parties to their own devices. In other words, if they're not given any expectations, your employees are going to perform in a manner that they think is best. If your clients aren't given the right expectations as to how to contact your company and what the process is in getting their answers, the questions to their answers, then they're going to basically do whatever they think is best and without having any boundaries whatsoever. So you want to make sure that you set expectations in an objective, specific, and measurable manner. In other words, if I brought my 12-year-old son and I had you explain expectations for yourself and for your team and for your customers, it needs to be so clear and concise and specific with no vagueness or ambiguity that my 12-year-old can understand it. Here's an amazing fact. According to Entrepreneur Magazine, the number one reason employers have underperforming employees is because as business owners, we have achieved mastery in our field. In other words, we are experts at what we do. Whatever that knowledge base you possess, you're an expert at it. Our problem is we're so experts at it that we have the difficult time dumbing it down to teach someone else. Because at the end of the day, the best managers, the best leaders are teachers. And teachers, the most effective teachers, communicate in a clear, concise, specific, and measurable manner. So, if you set the right expectations in a clear, concise, and measurable manner, then you have taken a huge, not just a huge first step in ensuring that your team is delivering the right results each and every day. In other words, now that they exactly know what result to get, then they will know exactly what your standard performance is. You know, it's one thing to say, do your job, or it's another thing to say, hey, just get it done. It's another thing to say, I want you to retain 100% of your customers 100% of the time. I want you to close $25,000 in sales each and every month. I want you to be able to respond to client emails within 2 hours. Those are clear and concise versus, hey, just respond to our clients, or hey, just contact me whenever you want. People do very well. They feel very comfortable with frameworks, and the more specific, measurable, and time bound you make it, the better it is for everybody, especially you. If you set vague and non-specific expectations, you're going to continue to be frustrated with the results because you're going to get the exact level of expectation that your employees make up for themselves, and you're going to continue to be frustrated. So the first thing, or the first person you need to set expectation with before you talk to anybody else, is set expectations for yourself. If you don't set expectations as far as how much time you're going to work, what type of revenue you have, what type of clients you want to work with, what you want your quality of life to be, what you want your relationship to look like, then your business is absolutely going to run you. You are responsible. You set the tone. This is your business, nobody else's. Second, you need to set up expectations for your clients or customers, however way you call them. We call them clients, you may call them customers. And finally, you need to set clear expectations for your team. If you don't set specific, measurable, and time bound expectations for those three parties, yourself, your clients, and your team, then you're going to be sorely, sorely frustrated with the results. Let me give you an example. So, this is Jing Johnson. Jing and I have become really good friends. She is an absolutely dynamite business owner. When I first met her, though, she had a problem. And the problem was she was working a ton. She was working 80 hours a week, and she was missing crucial, and vital times during the formative years with her two sons. So she wanted a business that didn't require her and truly wanted to scale. So the first thing we did is create key performance indicators, KPIs for short, and key result indicators, or KRIs, for each and every role in her organization. And then around that, we set up a weekly accountability system to make sure that every single person knew what they were doing on a weekly basis. In other words, everybody was crystal clear on what their role was, how they were going to be held accountable, and exactly what measurements that they were going to adhere to. Because here's the thing, y'all, and this is something that is vital for you to understand. Your employees don't want to come to your office every day or your place of business every day and feel like they're getting an F or D on their paper every single day. People actually want to be successful. But if they're not giving clear and concise expectations and have an accountability system around that, they're going to fail you, guaranteed 100% of the time. So as a result, her company grew 78%. 78%. And all this while Jing was working less than 45 hours a week. So she went from 80 hours down to 45 hours, and her business grew 78%. That was, I mean, I tell you, having a business that grows 78% is freaking fantastic. And the fact that now she is not missing any time on those special events with her family, it is just, oh, I love what I do. I just love what I do. So, to summarize, the first shift is to establish three for each and every role, meaning yourself, your clients or customers, whatever name you put on them. And then also for your team, establish three, no more than three. People typically cannot do more than three results for the role at a time as far as results are concerned. So establish three specific, measurable, and time-bound results you expect from each role in your organization, and hold them accountable to the results each and every week. So that's shift number one. Shift number two, my gosh, stop going at this alone. Business ownership is a team sport. You can't go at it alone. According to Entrepreneur Magazine, the business owner, which is you, only has 5 core functions. And through practice, I'm actually sure that really you can boil these 5 down into 3, which I'll share with you in just a minute. So here are the functions, according to Entrepreneur Magazine and a whole host of other studies, on the 5 core functions of a business owner. Number 1 is to provide the vision of the company. Nobody can provide a vision for your company besides yourself. So that's number 1. Number 2 is to make sure that your team has the proper resources for their team. In other words, make sure that they have the tools, the expectations, which you just covered, to make your team prosper. The third is to build the right culture to support growth. In other words, every single company has a set of core values and culture and brand purpose. What's yours? Fourth is they make good decisions. Doesn't mean they make perfect decisions, but they make good decisions based upon solid evidence and in a very methodical manner. And they oversee and deliver the company's performance. And the CEO also serves as the interface between the internal operations and the external stakeholders. In other words, the CEO is responsible for making sure that the right process and the right system is in place to be able to bridge the gap between what you sell and what your company delivers on a day-to-day basis. Here's the thing. You've always heard that 90% of businesses fail within the first 5 years. Most people know that, but few people ask why. Here's the reason. The reason why 90% of businesses fail within the first 5 years is due to these things. Number 1, poor leadership. There's no vision, The leader has not communicated the vision. They have not communicated expectations to their clients, to themselves, or their team. The second is they lack uniqueness and value. They don't have a unique selling proposition, which we'll talk about here later as well. But in other words, there's no real difference between their services and anybody else, at least not that they're communicating. The next one is that they're not in touch with their customer needs. When was the last time you asked your clients what it is that they needed? Because sometimes what you think they need and what they actually need oftentimes don't jive. Of course, an unprofitable business model and poor financial management is a killer. But just look at those things for a second. Look at all the different things that we just talked about. Poor leadership, unique selling proposition, which is sales and marketing, keeping in touch with customer needs, an unprofitable business model, poor financial management. Here's the thing. You can't be an expert at all those things. You can't be an expert at financial management and marketing and operations and leadership. Had a great professor in my engineering, which is I actually got a degree from Texas Tech in civil engineering. I forgot, Dr. Norville is his name. Gosh, that's crazy that I still remember his name to this day. He said, "Do one thing and do it well." And I cannot agree with him more. So stop going out alone, because here are really only the three major responsibilities of a CEO. Number one is to set the vision for your company. In other words, where do you want the company to be in a year, in 3 years, in 5 years? What is your brand purpose? What effect do you want to have on the people that you work with and on your clients and your customers? Number two is developing your management team, because at the end of the day, it's the role of the management team and the employees that report to them to handle the daily stresses of the business. So your job is to develop your management team or leadership team so that they can handle the daily stress of the business, so that you can focus on these three things. And third is to promote the company. Here's the thing, y'all. At the end of the day, the best salesperson in a professional services company is often the founder and the executive team. Oftentimes, the reason a professional services company doesn't grow is because the owner themselves are so busy doing the day-to-day operations of the business that they don't have time to go out there and sell or meet with customers. So one of the key functions is to promote the company itself by selling your services to your target market. So your job as a business owner is to communicate your vision to your staff, develop your team so they can start making some of the decisions instead of you, and then to grow sales for your company. That's it. Those are the three core functions of a business owner. And this is done by not only having a brand purpose, but also having core values, a vision for your business, but also communicating those things to your team in a manner that inspires them. According to multiple reports, employees only want two things. Number one, they want to be appreciated for their work. Number two is they want to work for something bigger than themselves. By having a brand purpose, in other words, this is what our company stands for. This is the value that we deliver to our end user. And then wrap it around with your core values, which basically dictate how you deliver, the manner in which you deliver to your value to your clients, and then communicate that vision to all of your employees and team members. Now they understand that they're not just coming, from 8 to 5 every day just for a job and a paycheck, but instead they're coming to work for a deeper vision, something that is bigger than themselves. For example, our brand purpose is delivering freedom to business owners. So every single time that our employees come to work each and every day, they're asking themselves, how am I, or how can we deliver freedom to business owners? So the first way to do this, the first way to stop going out alone, is I want you to calculate your hourly rate. The simplest way to do this is to calculate what your previous 12 months revenue was and divide it by 2,000 hours. That's roughly how many work hours there are each and every year. And in order to really scale and start growing your business, the companies that grow the fastest is when the CEO has delegated any activity that falls below their hourly rate. So let's say that you did over the last 12 months $1 million, and which is $1 million. And then you divide that by 2,000 hours, your hourly rate is $500, which means that any task that you do that falls below $500 an hour needs to be delegated to somebody else because you can't do everything. You have to have other people around you that takes the burden off you so you can focus on the three main things that a business owner is supposed to focus on. And then you want to delegate those tasks that fall below your hourly rate to specialists in that field. There are bookkeepers out there, payroll people out there that specialize, IT people that specialize in those things that you would take you years, if not decades, to learn. So you want to delegate those tasks that fall below your hourly rate to those that specialize in those areas in order to free up your time and scale your business. So here's an example of exactly how to do that. So this is Jeffrey Abel. Jeffrey Abel and I have turned to be good friends. And actually, when I first met him years ago, from the outside in, things actually looked pretty good. He had 21 employees doing $1.9 million a year. Sounds good, right? Not if you actually go beneath the surface. Inside the business, there was a ton of turnovers, and their employees just were not engaged. I mean, they were just not bought in at all. So what we did is we developed his brand purpose. In other words, what does his company stand for that transcends just delivering a service, but really adds value to the marketplace? We developed their core values, which is acting as a code of conduct or how you actually deliver that brand to your customers. And then we established a business vision with Jeffrey and his leadership team. And then we brought in the rest of the team to discuss the vision and ask them for their feedback. In other words, we wanted to get that team's buy-in. Here is the result. What they were able to do is they were able to grow their business from 1.9 million to 4.6 million. In addition, they now have 45 employees instead of 21. And Jeffrey cannot remember the last time he worked more than about 42, 43 hours a week. He just simply cannot remember. And with all that free time, he's like, you know what? I'm going to go open up an Austin branch. So, I mean, he is just absolutely kicking it simply by establishing a brand purpose, delegating low value items, getting his team engaged with the brand purpose, the core values, and the vision. And now each and every employee understands how they can meet their goals inside of Able Design Group. So that's number two, which is stop going at it alone. The best way to get your employees engaged is to establish and communicate your vision to your team, involve them in the business growth process, and then work with each one of them to help them reach their goals inside of your corporate vision. Because at the end of the day, I tell you what, if you have a culture to where it becomes a breeding ground or a fertile ground to allow each one of your team members to realize their best and to realize their potential, my goodness, finding the right people for your business is not going to be hard, ladies and gentlemen, because that's where people want to go. People would give their right arm to work for a company that stands for more than just making money, that sets the right expectations, involves them in the growth process and involves them in the vision of the company, and then walks through each one of them and develops a plan on how to take each individual employee to their full potential inside of their vision. It is just an absolutely beautiful thing. Here's shift number three. Stop thinking small. I'm going to say something that might be controversial, might be stepping on your toes, but what I always say is this: companies stay small for a reason. Let me say that again. Companies stay small for a reason. Here's what I mean by that. Ernst & Young, big, huge accounting and consulting firm. Greatly admire and respect that company. They have a growth forum in Palm Springs. Excuse me, hold on one second. Sorry about that. So Ernst & Young has a growth forum in Palm Springs each and every year. And the focus of it is to help small companies grow from a couple of 100,000 a year to millions and millions and millions of dollars. They noted that the very first shift that a business owner needs to undertake to really scale and grow their business is to expand their mindset and think big. Number one, not number two, not number three, number one. As a matter of fact, now I think about it, I probably should have started with this shift. But anyway, I digress. So the number one shift is to stop thinking small, expand your mindset, and start thinking big. Here's what that means, and here's how to do that. There are 7 laws of success, and just in the interest of time, we don't have time to get into each and every one of them. But the first one that I want to talk about is the law of control. The law of control states that your thoughts control your emotions, then your emotions control your actions, and then your actions cause success or failure. Here's what I mean by that. If you believe that you can't scale your business, then you're going to have emotions of depression, frustration, and anxiety, which is going to lead to actions that are consistent with that anxiety, which is going to lead to a negative result. However, if you change that thought, here's a beautiful thing about the law of control. All you have to do is change your thought. If instead you believe that you can scale your business, even though we're not done with this presentation, I'm starting to think that you can actually start believing that you can, right? So if you believe that you can scale your business, that'll lead to emotions of ecstasy and of freedom and of excitement and of empowerment, which will lead you to certain actions, which will then create success. So the first thing that I want you to ask yourself is, what are you thinking about? What thoughts go to your mind? Are they positive? Are they thoughts of scaling and growing your business? Or are they thoughts of depression that, my gosh, I'll never scale my business and I'll never get to the next level? And I want to challenge you to stop that, because your thoughts control your emotions, which control your actions, which lead to success or failure. They don't call it the theory of control. They call it the law of control. Henry Ford, great quote, actually said that whether you think you can or can't, you're absolutely correct. Because here's the thing, no matter how great these strategies are, no matter how awesome and time tested and proven they are, which they are, we actually have a joint ventureship with Brian Tracy, who has developed the content for over 38 years that we have honed in specifically the professional services business with his endorsement. But here's the thing, no matter how good the content is, no matter how good the process is, if we plant that content into unfertile soil called your mind, it's not going to work. They are absolutely 100% useless. If you harbor thoughts of negativity or doubt, you're never going to get to where you want to get to. However, if you focus, like almost obsess on what you want, you will get there, because it's a universal law that what you think about expands. Let me say that again. Whatever you think about expands. If you think you can't get there, that thought and that action is going to expand. If you believe that you can scale, that will expand as well. One of the things that also, or actually 3 things that keep us back, is the fear of failure, the fear of criticism, the fear of rejection. That keeps us back from reaching our goals. Instead, use the law of control through goal setting to accomplish your goals. Remember we talked about setting the expectations for yourself? That's goal setting. What exactly do you want? Crystallize it, put it into paper. Tell yourself, okay, if everything were right in every which way, what would it tangibly look at? How much revenue am I doing? What does my lifestyle look like? How big is my team? What am I doing in the business? Or what am I not doing in the business? And then create sub goals that stair step for you from where you are now to where you want to get to. That's how to overcome that fear of failure, the fear of criticism, and the fear of rejection. Releasing your brakes by establishing goal setting, and you want to make sure that your goals both excite you but seem like a reach to achieve. In other words, if you set a goal that you think you can achieve tomorrow, that's not a goal. That's just part of your day. Set goals that excite you, that seem kind of like a stretch where you have to stretch, because here's the thing. In order to get to where you want to be from where you are now, you're going to have to change the way that you think. You're going to have to become somebody different than you are now. I'm not saying to change your core. I'm just saying that in order to run a larger business requires different skill sets, different thinking than it does to run a startup company. And then do one thing each and every day, no matter how trivial it is, that gets you closer to that goal. And make sure that your goals are specific, measurable, aligned with your values, reasonable, and time-bound. So let's go on to the 4th shift, which is creating a business development machine. We talked about earlier that one of the biggest burdens that business owners in the professional services field face is they feel burdened because they have to create all of the sales for their business. We're going to put an end to that right now. So the fourth shift is to create a business development machine. Here's how to do that. Before we get into those details, I want to kind of walk you through what are the biggest frustrations that most people have in trying to grow and scale their professional services practice. And I suffered through this when I first started my business, and I tell you, it's hell. Many professional services businesses rely only on old school ways of generating new business, which is referrals, networking, word of mouth, going to mixers, et cetera, et cetera. The problem with this, although it's a good place to start, it's an awful, awful place to finish because it doesn't allow you to scale your business quickly because you're depending on somebody else to make the introduction or generate the lead for you. So instead of having a lead generation system that provides an endless amount of leads for you, instead you're relying on passive strategies like referrals, networking, and word of mouth. That creates unstable cash flow, makes your business very unpredictable, and it also makes it to where you're depending on other parties to generate leads to grow your business. That is a nightmare. Instead, you want to have a lead generation system and a selling system that consistently generates leads and converts those leads into sales that turns your business into a revenue generating machine. In other words, having that front end lead generation system and selling system that is able to generate leads with your target market and convert those leads into sales quickly turns your business into a cash generating machine. So, if you continue to just rely on passive marketing strategies like word of mouth, networking, you're going to experience uneven cash flow and you're going to have a really, really hard time scaling your business. However, if you have just the opposite, which is a proactive lead generation system, and marry that with a proactive outside selling system and a productive inside selling system, then you will have what we call the circle of awesomeness. So, before we get into the circle of awesomeness, let me walk you through the 3 M's of marketing. You want to make sure that you have these down pat before you even take one step into actually implementing the selling system. The 3 things you have to have is you have to define who your target market is, what message you're going to deliver to that target market to attract people to you and away from your competition. And then you have to communicate that message to your target market using the right media. We find that there are, last count, about 102 different ways you can market your business. But once you understand exactly who your target market is and the message that you want to deliver to that target market, it becomes very simple to identify what are the best avenues to deliver your message to your target market are. So if all 3 of those, market, message, and media, are in alignment, then you can generate all the leads your business can handle. You'll be able to generate leads on demand for your business, and it'll be shocking to you because it becomes so easy. So let's talk about the circle of awesomeness. The circle of awesomeness is having a selling system that is both inwardly and outwardly focused. We actually break down all of our clients' businesses or target market into 4 unique segments. The first segment are suspects. That is your entire target market. Every single person that potentially could be a client of yours are suspects. The second are prospects. Prospects are people that have heard your message and are interested in having a conversation with you about the services you provide or somebody on your team. Third are customers. Customers are what we call transactional buyers. In other words, they only buy from you from time to time, but you haven't developed enough trust with them to where they give you their entire business. And then the fourth segment is clients. Clients are people that no matter what issue they have, when it comes to your professional service, whatever it is that you offer, your clients come to you every single time and they won't think about going to anybody else. So the inside sales process is a systematic way to ask your clients and customers for proactive referrals. In other words, asking them for referrals and turning customers into clients, and then finding other ways to add more value or provide other services to your existing clients. That's what we call the inside sales process. Some people call it farming, to where you're adding more value to people that already do business with you. And I would say this is a vital, vital process to have correct, because the easiest people in the world to sell are those that already do business with you. It is shocking to me how many times people approach us to grow and scale their business and do not have an inside sales process in their business, because the easiest people to sell your business are your existing customers. Once you convert customers into clients and cross-sell, upsell, and downsell and add more value to existing clients, that will then fund your business to reinvest a portion of those proceeds into an outside sales process. So if you're doing Facebook ads, or if you're doing LinkedIn, or print media, or direct mail, or whatever it is, those are expensive. Those can add up. However, if you have that inside sales process humming, then you're going to have the funds to go out there and approach your suspects, to then turn them into prospects, to then turn them into customers, and finally to turn them into clients. That is what we call the circle of awesomeness, to where you have the inside sales process humming, which then funds your outside sales process, to then be able to execute the 7-step sales process, which is prospecting, relationship building, discovery, presenting the solution, overcome objections, closing, and then proactively asking for referrals, upsells, downsells, and cross sells. I tell you, once you've got these two processes in place, which is the inside sales process where you do more business with your existing customers and clients, that then funds that outside sales process, whew, it is a lot of fun to be a business owner at that point. I mean, a lot of fun. So, the old way is passive referrals, word of mouth, and networking. You don't have to rely on those things anymore. It's passive, and it creates uneven cash flow. The new way is a proactive referral process with the inside sales process, remarketing to your existing clients, and then pay-per-click and LinkedIn marketing. That is the future, because that system is scalable. You can target exactly who you want to see your message, and that's how people are coming across professional services leads all the time. My clients are generating a ton of leads just by using pay-per-click on Facebook and LinkedIn marketing. As a matter of fact, I had a client yesterday that said, "Stop, our team is too overwhelmed with the amount of leads. We got to hire more people to do all these leads." I tell you what, those are conversations that I will take every single day that ends in Y. Every single day. Here's an example. Jared Aiden, he owns a company called Lens Engineering. When I first met him, he was doing about $135,000 a month. But here's the deal, y'all. He was doing it all himself. He was the engineer, the outside salesperson, the inside salesperson. He was just relying on those old way of generating leads. So what we did is we actually implemented a selling system inside of his business that all of a sudden it didn't require him. And after 6 months, just 6 months, he went from $135,000 a month to generating $427,000 a month in new proposal work. Now he's got a proactive system on the inside sales and outside sales that truly allows him to scale. So here's the last shift. Invest in mentoring. That is the fifth shift, is to invest in mentoring. Here's what I mean by that. According to the WASP Barcode State of Small Business, it says that it's likely that 30% of businesses will not survive past 24 months, and that number rises to 50% after 5 years. However, get this, y'all. This is crazy to me. This is amazing. And this is a third-party source, okay? Nobody paid this person to say this, okay? However, businesses that had help along the way through a mentor found that 70% of those businesses are still around 5 years later. Another study, or the same study conducted by UPS, showed an 88% of business owners say having a mentor to lean on is invaluable. You've got to invest in mentoring. Somebody has already been there and done that. Leverage their experience, leverage their know-how, leverage their mistakes to help you get to the next level. Because here's the thing, you probably have new ideas right now that's in your head that wouldn't have been there except for you making the time to be here and listening to this webinar. A great mentor will give you the strategies on how to get from where you are now to where you want to be faster than you ever thought possible. Because a good mentor will also organize a group of people that all want to accomplish similar goals and lock arms together. Because you know what? At the end of the day, sometimes business ownership can be a very, very lonely feeling. So having people that you can lock arms with together to support each other is invaluable and indispensable. So investing in mentoring can take years off your goal attainment and make the process so much easier. I mean, my gosh, you've got so much things to take care of already. Do you really want to figure this out on your own? So today, here's what I promise as we start to close here. I promise to be able to promise to give you the tools to allow you to take a 1 month vacation each year without having to field endless phone calls from the team back at home. I promise to turn your business into a cash flow machine that does not revolve around you. I promise that I could take your existing employees, not new employees, but existing employees, I could take new employees too, and turn them into a highly productive team, even if you're not a good manager. I also promise to show you how to grow your sales 20 to 30% each year without having to add more hours to your work week, and how to streamline your sales and operations so that your business can scale without you having to be involved each and every day. So here's what you need to do to win. That's what you absolutely need to do to win. So just to summarize, here it is. Number one, set the right expectations. And you want to set them in a manner that is specific, measurable, and time bound. Stop choking your team's success. Give them the vision for your company, provide them the core values, show them the vision, and then align what it is that they want to accomplish with their career with your vision, and you'll be running on all cylinders. 3, stop thinking small. Stop sabotaging your own success. Number 4, create a business development machine with the inside sales and outside sales process using proactive processes. And 5th, invest in mentoring. So now you have a choice. And here's how I can help. My team and I, we have set up some time. We set up some time over the next week to speak with you personally about how you can take the concepts that we just discussed and apply these ideas to your business starting right now, starting today. And we've decided to completely forego any costs associated with it besides your time. So the cost to you is 100% absolutely free. So here's who this is for. First and foremost, you must be absolutely committed to scaling your business and dedicated to do whatever it takes to get your life back, grow your business, and build an asset that spins off cash even when you're not there. Also, you must be currently delivering excellent results to the client you serve. Not just good, not just average, but excellent results. If that is you, here's why we're doing this. If that is you, we're going to get on the call together. And on that call, we'll help you get clarity about exactly what you want your business to look like and the exact steps you should take to get from where you are now to where you want to be. And if you want us to help you, and if we think we're a good fit for each other, we might actually invite you to become one of our clients that we'll take on this month. If we work together, we're going to put you through the exact same programs that we put our clients through that achieve some amazing results. And the curriculum is specifically designed to scale a professional business so that you can start enjoying your life again. And we'll expect you to be able to step away from the business and scale your business within 4 to 6 weeks. Yes, you read that correctly and heard that correctly. You'll be able to scale your business in 4 to 6 weeks. So, if you're interested and if you're ready to take the next step in getting your life back and truly scaling your business, simply go to cornerstonebusinesscoaching.com/app. Spaces are very limited. That's why we ask you to fill out an application. We want to make sure you're serious. So if you're interested in putting your name in the hat, go to cornerstonebusinesscoaching.com/app. Like I said, the spaces are very, very limited, so sign up now. I want to thank you for taking up your time to be on this webinar. You now have a choice. You can either choose to continue to be at the same old place and relive the same day over and over again, or if you want to get your life back and start working on the business versus in it and truly start scaling your business, Simply go to cornerstonebusinesscoaching.com/app and let's get the party started. Have a great day.